The name is foreboding. The starkness of Death Valley takes some getting used to. In the Mojave Desert, along the border between California and Nevada, it's a consummate land of extremes. The hottest, driest, lowest spot in North America. A 156-mile-long valley, surrounded by 9 mountain ranges, is part of the Great Basin and Range region.
The simplest thing is to think of it as blocks of rock that have been tilted and pulled apart, and the bottom of the valley has dropped down as the mountains through time have been pushed up. A valley would be something that's been shaped by a glacier. Yosemite Valley is a true valley. So Death Valley, if we're speaking geologically, is more considered a half graben, but water has shaped things within the valley. I mean, we know there was a lake here that was 600 feet deep, but there were never glaciers here.
The Shoshone Indians called it Tomisha, meaning ground on fire. It's no surprise the world's second hottest temperature of 134 degrees was recorded here. Centuries of water accumulating and evaporating in an ancient lake left salt flats covering over 200 square miles. Badwater, the lowest point in North America, is 282 feet below sea level. Complex, relatively young rock exposure makes for a mixed bag of geology. On a wind-stripped surface, blowing sands piled up sweeping dunes. Earthquakes and eruptions wreaked havoc. Yuba Hibi, the youngest of the volcanoes, blew its top less than 1,000 years ago.
But the crater itself is unique not only because it's the most recent geological feature, but because it's an area that could be active again. It's what we call a Mar volcano. It's a steam explosion crater, so that hot magma reached the groundwater, and then there was a huge steam explosion sending ash up into the air, and so we see the ashes scattered around there.
The direction of the explosion left one side of the crater with sheer walls, piling up a mountain of cinders on the other side. At Artist's Palette, volcanic rock altered by hydrothermal heat create a kaleidoscope of color. From Zabriskie Point, time and water turn badlands into beauty. Mosaic Canyon's sculpted passageway leads to mosaic-like fragments of stone. Amazingly, Darwin Falls cascades year-round in one of the hottest, driest places on the planet. And over 1,000 types of plants manage to survive.
The first thing people are surprised about in Death Valley is that it's got life. I mean, Death Valley and all that, so if there's anything alive, that's the thing that kind of shocks them. In fact, I've heard very often from people, oh, it shouldn't be Death Valley, it should be the Valley of Life, which is a stretch because it's so extreme here. The life that's here is very sparse, but it's highly adapted to dealing with those extremes.